Hey everybody, welcome back. We are back to our budget build series 2 on the two-door Cherokee here. Really fitting actually. Today I am tackling transmission lines on this bad girl right here. They are leaking kind of a lot, enough to where the fluid, after it sits for a little while, is low enough that the transmission won't grab right away and even slips in reverse going up hills. So I've been real easy on it, moving it around when I need to, making sure there's enough fluid in it to get it going. So I got new transmission lines in the trunk, and I've got a quick connect puller kit. So this should be fairly quick, but we'll see about that. Anyways, turn you around and we'll get into it. All right, so if we get up underneath the old Cherokee Silverado here. Oh, it's not. My flash isn't on. You can kind of see how shiny these lines are. I know it's dark. I thought my flash was on my phone. The transmission lines right there are just leaking a ton. And I parked it in here last night, and you can already see the lines are dripping kind of a lot. So, and you can see how wet the exhaust is right here on the corner too. That's all from the transmission lines. So this will be good to get them all replaced. Get this thing all up and happy again so we can get going on the fun stuff. And just to kind of give you a preview of some of the fun stuff that we're going to do to the old girl, I got the new wheels that I'm going to put on it, and we're going to run these tires for a little bit. I'm not going to buy mud tires right off the bat. These are the anniversary wheels off of the JK. Let me get my tripod out of the way. Anniversary wheels off of the JK, and they have just a slight tint of brown. So I'm thinking on the old two-door here, we're going to tint her green. And we're actually going to tint it a Chevy, a GM green. I'll show you that when we get around to it. But I think the kind of foresty, outdoorsy green with the tan interior and the brown wheels, I think it's going to set it off just right. Anyways, before we can do anything fun, we got to get these transmission lines replaced. So let's go ahead and do that. So one of the advantages to jacking it up real high like this, doing these transmission lines, is most of the fluid that's kind of residual in the lines should run back towards the transmission. Hopefully it won't leak as much out. Anyways, press the wrong button there. Hopefully it won't leak as much out, and I know it's probably already drained out of the radiator just from leaking onto the ground most of the way. So it's going to be a messy job, but we'll try to keep as much as we can in the transmission, and then we'll top it off when we're done. Alright, getting underneath the Jeep here, you can see, again with the light a little bit better, these lines that are rusted right here, and they're rubbing right in that little bracket. That's why this is leaking. You can actually see drips still on it if you look close enough. Anyways, and you can see them leaking up there, and it looks like that's leaking. There's a lot of just leaking going on that we're going to be fixing up. Anyways, you can see this line's already been kind of patched together with the double hose clamp here and the hose clamp here. It's got this quick connect fitting that we should be able to get off reasonably well. And then the other one is, I don't know if we're going to be able to see it from the bottom side. It's on the top part of the radiator. Anyways, to help prevent too much of a mess, we're going to undo this hose clamp and drip hopefully into there. Try to do this one-handed. And the bonus of putting the correct lines on that are, I guess, press fit, so we get some nice hose clamps and some nice rubber hose to go in the parts bed. See if that's enough to get that down over there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, you see that's spinning with the hose on that. Anyways, I'm gonna have to grab it right here with pliers and twist this hose off, so I'll be back in a minute. Rage on that beat, going crazy. It's not the worst color I've ever seen. It's a darker red, but that's usually okay on these AW4s. But yeah, apparently that's all that's in the transmission side. I think that's the lower line. And this one over here is the upper. So yeah, you can see that's clearly been leaking a bunch. But we're just gonna let this drip for a little bit and then start working on that quick connect fitting. And get the hood opened up. Excuse me. Well, it actually looks like that's the upper hose. Shoot. You can see this metal bit coming all the way up to here. See right here where my finger is. So the other one is the lower, right there over the frame. Oh, it's difficult to see down in there for you guys. Right there, you can kind of see it. See the fitting. So that's going to be a fun one to get to. Oh boy. Well, folks, we may have got a little carried away here, but the header panel was held on finger tight with 2 nuts. Just the ones on the top, nothing across. It didn't have any of these nuts in there, it didn't have any of these nuts in there, just the one here and the one here, not even any on the driver's side. So I just went ahead and pulled that bad boy off, since we're going to replace it with the one outside anyways, get it back to the correct period. And it's not like it's got the case, like this nub is broken off a little bit, but this one's all fine. Both of these ones are still there. But I went ahead and pulled it off to get to this quick connect line right there, just because it's super hard to reach right here without pulling the coolant hose off, which I need to do. I'm not gonna be able to get that off, the cross member off funky right now. The coolant is about that color, which is no bueno. Not too afraid of anything on it. Somebody put on you can kind of see from here, a new Wurr radiator, new thermostat, and a new water pump. And they filled this reservoir with coolant. You can see it's nice and green and clear in there. However, that's not doing us any good. And that's just been pointing straight at the ground on both sides. So somebody knew something was up with this thing, and that's the fix they decided to do. I think I want to put a new cap on it because this one's so crusty and gross looking. And like I said, I can just grab the one from outside off of the parts Jeep, so that's not going to cost me anything to try that out. Anyways, instead of dealing with the coolant mess and everything today, especially since I don't have a water hose to hook up to this to flush everything out with as cold as it's been, I picked up the radiator right here, just put it on its little nub, pulled it forward, and now I got just enough room to access this quick connect fitting, right there, and that way I can leak transmission fluid all over this cross member and all over everywhere on the floor. So since that just sounds like a banging good time, we're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm really hoping that this little ridge right here, oh my gosh, there we go. This little ridge right here will direct it towards the front of the steering box so that I can catch most of it about right there. Ooh, we are just gonna have to see. Let's go ahead and just make a mess since it's not my shop. noticed how nothing fell in the bucket. There's our line. She's disconnected and nothing's coming out, so that's cool. Guess we'll keep going on the transmission side and get these old lines pulled out. Well, it's day 2 working on these transmission lines, purely because of this little fitting right here that goes on the back of the transmission. The one on the Jeep right here where this quick connect clip goes in was just too rusty and crusty and used up for the new line to slip back into it in a way that I felt comfortable leaving it, and I was able to pull it back out every time, even if it was kind of difficult. So overnighted this $7 Dorman part, and once we get this sealed up on the transmission, then all the lines can go on, and then we can get that header panel from outside, wrap this thing up, see if we fix the slipping issues with new fluid. We got ourselves a couple of things off the parts Jeep outside. We got our correct gen header panel, and it may even be the same color. At least used to be at one point, maybe. A fan shroud, because we've just been free balling over here. And the overflow tube for the coolant, since this one was broke. So we'll throw all those on and then add some fluid, see how she does. Well, it's starting to rain, so I can't go take the Jeep out for a test drive with you guys. But we took it out last night in the dark, and with the new trans lines on it, it's perfect. It's good to go. It's hitting all the shift points. It's able to do burnouts now on them little tires. So that trans is holding up real good. So, anyways, hope you guys like this. If you haven't seen the first couple videos in the series, or first video in the series, I guess this is the second one. Then go check out the series for this two-door where we introduced it and kind of tell you my plans for it. And if you haven't checked out the S10 series, go do that. We're taking that thing off-road here this weekend, so that series is about to get wrapped up. Anyways, I'm gonna do some work to the old Cummins here. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.